Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of ILLflips. I'm Jordan Barry Brown from ILLstrips. Today going to be taking a look at Marina Shirakawa's work with a spotlight on her zombie cat manga, which is pretty crazy, as is all of her work. Her work is kind of prohibitively expensive and quite rare, especially these little tankobons. I do believe this one is getting an English translation from Ryan Holmberg next year, which is her UFO Invasion story. So this was pretty exciting. I have a little bunko of this, but I'll just give you a quick little glance at what's in the page of this. This is bonkers stuff. So these mushroom aliens invade Earth, and shit goes down. But yeah, this is getting an English translation next year, so this is exciting news. Always just some really bizarre and fantastic drawing here. She's mostly a horror mangaka who was born in 1944 and I think died in 2000. And there's not a huge amount of information on her about her online, so hopefully Ryan Holmberg, who does these great essays at the beginning of his translated books, where the back matter is full of essays about the subject matter and the author. So excited to hear a little bit more about her if that is the case. This artwork is just crazy. Really beautiful. And just exciting looking stuff. So that's something to look forward to. She also has this snake demon manga, which is a reprint. She does dabble in the demonic and yokai stuff quite a bit too. And I presume she was either a peer or an influence on Umez. And I'm sure the likes of Junji Ito these days. But I don't think she has a lot of stories. I think there's maybe, from what I've seen, maybe 8 or 9. And they're tricky to come by, as I said, so if you can find some, it's worth grabbing it. Which is what I did last week, and that's why I picked this up from Japanese avant-garde books. He found a copy of her cat zombie story, which can be tricky enough to find. And he sent me some of the interior pages, and I thought it was pretty exciting stuff. So I presume this is a photo of her here, Marina Shirakawa. And yeah, from the jump, the cats are going crazy. Seem to be eating each other, they're getting stitched back together, and then they come back to life and start eating humans. I mean, from page to page, just very exciting, visually stimulating artwork. Some crazy spreads throughout. This is our central cat demon, or cat zombie person. I'll try and find a couple of the particularly good shots, panels that are scattered throughout this. Like, this stuff's great. I like this character a lot. And yeah, cats just start eating people's brains. Taking off their domes and sucking out that good juicy brain. And this girl seems to wander around in a half alive, half dead sort of trance. Her brain is exposed. She's touching it. I guess she starts to turn into a zombie also. And the cats are just going to town on people. I mean, that's a pretty great page. All these zombies just falling through whatever this is, some sort of electrical tower or bridge. She's always pretty good at these moons. Her stipple is always nice. There's a lot of stipple in the UFO mushroom comic. Now everybody's coming back to life. Zombies are on parade. Yeah, another great spread. It's a bit of thriller to these zombies. I mean, that's the good stuff there. Just bizarre. But obviously a pretty amazing imagination for coming up with, first of all, the stories, but also just the imagery. Like, check that out. This girl is in bad shape towards the end. And then you get this cat moon, which I think is really nice. And all the cats just waiting on the horizon. So, I mean, if I can ever track these down, I'm going to try and get a little run of them. Of Marina Shirakawa's Tonkabon horror comics from, I think most of them are Habari Hit comics. This is number 141 in that series. Then also just got this book. I got this off the Japanese Book Hunter earlier, well, towards the end of last year. This is a really beautiful book of her Yokai. It's got this nice gold foil cover. Some lovely paper inside. A mix of different types of paper. And yeah, it's just a collection of her yokai illustrations, which are pretty amazing. I did a project last year in Japan on yokai, and I drew, I think, 15 of them. And I plan to continue that project this year. So this is pretty inspirational for me. Not so much yokai at the back, but I think it opens up a little bit. Here's this kind of rat demon here. She's really going all in on this book. Got a kitsune, nine-tailed fox. And this book is actually easier to come by. It's a newer publication. So if you do like her work, this might be a good start before that translated version comes out. You know, I could be wrong about this book. I thought it was her just doing illustrations about yokai, but it seems to be mostly focused on the kitsune, that nine-tailed fox creature, so it seems to be a story. Yeah, we got some Tengu. Maybe it's several stories just about certain yokai. I'll have to get out the old Google Translate. Oh yeah, I'd like to draw one of these guys sometime. These like giant crabs with human faces on the front. Can't remember what they call them. Yeah, and as I mentioned, her stipple is pretty on point. Amazing work. Yokai are so fun. How they came up with such crazy ideas, but they did. And here's this fire wheel dude. I never drew him either. He might be on the list. Also, can't remember his Japanese title. Here he comes. He's got a little child's leg in his mouth. Glad to take a closer look at this and figure out that it is just seems to be little stories about yokai. Got some kappa here. One of my favorites. Not to be messed with, the kappa. Oh, this guy took off his head. Okay. So the deal with the kappa is that if you bow to them, it weakens them, because otherwise they try and drag you into a body of water and suck your soul out of your ass. So they have a little dish of water on their head, and if you bow to them, that tips out and weakens them. Or you can offer them a giant cucumber, which they like. But it seems like this particular kappa has a hat on of sort, maybe to protect that water bowl. And he's taking this guy's head straight off. Now the copper having a little party about it. Here's this poor fella's head. Anyway, pretty great stuff. That's a nice book. Happy to find some more of her horror manga. Keep an eye out for that Ryan Holmberg translation. His Instagram is @mangaberg. And this one is not too hard to find either. Sometimes Japanese avant-garde books has a few, or Japan Book Hunter might. Well, I hope you liked that video. If you want some more of this kind of content, like and subscribe, leave a comment. And if you want to check out my comics, it's at ILLflips.com. Thanks.